I'm Jeff Glore, and this is CBS News.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where you'll find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support the needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. During this hour, we're going to share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today, we're going to start off our show talking with a couple of folks from Haleakala. We're going to talk with Claudine San Nicholas, who is the program director, and Dr. Mary Trotto. Hello. Where'd I get Trotto? There's no two O's in the front of that one. There's two T's. Who is the fundraiser extraordinaire for the organization. How are you two this morning?
Doing great.
This afternoon. It is,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Just turned
Officially.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good, huh?
Yes.
Getting ready
Doing-
for another busy year?
Yes.
From what I was reading, last year was extremely busy. I mean, you hit some great milestones. You had some great events. How do you keep it up?
We keep it up by having such great volunteers, generosity of donors, just people that really care that other people are hungry and they want to help us feed them. And I should say we focus on South Maui, but they just want to help us, and that's how we do it.
You know what I think is so great about your program is that they don't have to prove they can't buy dinner.
Correct.
Or that some people come there for the companionship of having somebody to talk to over dinner. We forget how many people are really on their own here.
Yeah, so if I could tell a real quick story about Doug and Mike, Haleakala is a no questions asked or embraces a no questions asked policy. So we don't ask anyone, there's no form to fill out. You don't have to talk to someone and say, I'm here because. But I just felt compelled one afternoon to talk to these two gentlemen that were sitting. And my one question is, how's the food? And Doug said, well, it's great. It's comforting. And Mike said, yeah, it's great too. And they just started telling me, Doug did, that a year ago, his wife was in hospice care and we got a referral to deliver meals for his wife. And he was really comforted about that because he didn't have to cook for his wife and he's not the cook. Anyway, she passed away. And then, so now he's by himself. He's a widower. And he just remembers, he said, the delivery of the meals and how it comforted his wife. And we actually we do give meals to caregivers too, and how it comforted him. And he just wanted to feel that again.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he said, I come here for the comfort. He says he can feed himself. He can almost even afford it. But he wanted to be with Mike, talk story, have a friend to share a meal with. And so that really enlightened me that we give comfort. We feed stomachs, but we also give comfort.
Right.
Yeah, Haleakala does.
That's wonderful. I just every time that I have somebody on from your place, I have to bring that up because I think that's so important. We've got so many single people here.
Agree.
We don't realize how many people maybe even just don't eat because they either don't like their cooking or can't cook, or somebody once said, after you've raised a family and then supported a spouse, you can't cook one meal or a meal for one. It doesn't work.
And it doesn't taste as good.
I'm sure. Because I'll bet you end up with leftovers that you've got for 3 or 4 days, and that gets old for almost anyone. So, it's I just think that's amazing because so many places you have to go through all kinds of hoops prove that it's a desperate situation almost. So I think that's great. So now tell me about your 10,000th day.
So Halikarkau started officially August 11, 1991. The late Father Jack Stawash, and other churches in the area just had been getting calls from people that were hungry. And so since that day officially, they've never turned anyone away, and they've always given food. Now, Dr. Mary here has been in the program longer than me, but this past year, December 26, 2018, just happened to be our 10,000 consecutive day of meal service. So we've never gone without serving a meal. And as you know, in the fall, we had threats of 2 hurricanes.
Right.
And I want to thank Maui because the community, because not only did we still deliver a meal on that day with the threat of two separate hurricanes, but we also gave dry goods, dry food, in case our drivers weren't able to deliver. So we gave them pop-up canned goods and just dry goods to make sure they were taken care of. So 10,000 day. And Maui Health Systems wanted to celebrate, so they gave us turkey. And just a group of employees at the Grand Wailea gave us ham. And it was like we were having Christmas on a second day. And we served about 100 people that day. Yeah.
Big day.
Yeah, it was a big day.
Because normally
Big
you're
time.
in 70 to 80.
70 to 80 at the window, and then 80 to 85 homebound.
Homebound.
Yes.
Wow. You're pushing 200 people a day.
It's a big budget. That's why we have the fundraisers.
That's not a goal that you want. I mean,
No,
you
it's
don't
not.
want to have to feed that many, but if they're out there, that's what you're there for.
Right, exactly. And it really depends, because I want to say about the homebound, there are other people that care about them, and so their family will feed them that night that we're not feeding them, or their friends will invite them. But most of the time they're getting the one dinner. So as you know, just to remind listeners that may not know about Halikarkau, in many cases we are the only meal of the day for people. And in other cases, our driver's their only visitor of the day.
Good point.
And that's what keeps our community strong, right?
Right.
Is to make sure not only are we feeding people, but we're showing people we care about them. So I think a visitor is very important to someone who's frail, sick, disabled, elderly, which is about the categories of the people that we serve. Yeah.
Do they get meals every day, or do people sign up sometimes for 3 times a week? Or
Most of our homebound clients are 7 days a week.
Really?
Most of them.
I got you.
Actually, I don't know anyone right now on the list. But yes, we did have, for example, 2 weeks ago, we had a gentleman recovering from hip surgery, and his wife comes home after 6, and she thought he should eat before she comes home. So we were only doing him 5 days a week. But that's actually rare. Most of the homebound clients of Halikarkau are eating 7 days a week.
Right. Boy, that's great. And it gives them something to look forward to. Not only the meal, but as you say, the visitor.
I think so. Yes.
And should something happen to them during that day, the visitor may be the one who finds them and gets them the help they need.
Unfortunately, that actually has happened. We have had some of our drivers find them ill or find them where they need help. And so we've actually assisted them in that, made calls to help. But Halikarkau, we do food.
Right.
However, we have connected them with other agencies.
Right.
Or their doctor or their family, actually. Sometimes with their family. We have connected them that way.
So you do have information on them in case of emergency or whatever.
Right. So before we deliver them, again, we go to their home. I do. That's my job as the program director. I don't ask questions to qualify them. I ask questions to ensure that if something should happen, who should we call for them? Who is their doctor? That kind of thing. But other than that, and how do they want it delivered? Some people, in the state that they're in, they're so frail, they just want us to leave it in their cooler outside their door. Other people, they want us to bring it in because literally they can't get up from the wheelchair or the seat that they're sitting on. And others, I actually think that the reason they want us to come inside is because they want to talk to the driver. They want to have a chat for the day.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And your drivers are all volunteers too,
They're
right?
all volunteers. There's only one paid employee in the kitchen, and that's the cook. That's it.
Wow.
Everybody else, I mean, the rest of the program is run by volunteers. And we are very grateful for them. And we're grateful for Dr. Mary. She's a volunteer, and she does all the same things.
Yeah.
Yeah, she volunteers in the kitchen and drives meals.
She's right there.
Right. And this
Dang.
morning, she was at Safeway early in the morning because just like many nonprofits, we have partnerships, and we're able to get food from different places. And a shout out to Safeway Kihei because they do give us desserts and bread.
Cool. That's great. Now, when your volunteer drivers,
Yes.
do they do 7 days a week, or are they on a shift level, or what?
They're on a shift level. So each driver comes one day. So it's 42 drivers a week. And in the case of the drivers, by the way, there's a lot of partners. One drives, the other one gets down off the car and delivers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's how they do it. So
Well,
I'm
that's
saying
helpful.
42, but probably 50 a week are coming in and out, delivering on their own dime in terms of their car, their gas, everything, their time. And in about an hour and a half, they're getting 12 to 15 meals out in any given shift.
I see.
Yeah.
And that's primarily in the Kihei, Wailea area.
We will serve from Ma'alaya
Ma'alaya. Okay.
to Wailea.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Now, no other part of the island has that, right?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Not
I mean,
that I know.
that's special. That's
Even
very
Meals
special.
on Wheels, I believe, is 5 days a week. Is the weekdays?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I think so. We
Yeah.
deliver on Saturday and Sunday.
Meals on Wheels, you have to qualify for.
And you
Oh,
have
right.
to qualify.
Yeah. Right. Wow. That's quite a challenge to keep up with that. Mm-hmm. And so let's turn the well, actually, one more thing.
Sure.
You're talking about we did the 10,000 meals, but we also did $1.5 million.
It's $1.5 million. It will range anywhere from 55 to 60,000 meals a year. It's an average of anywhere between 140 to 150 meals a day.
Wow.
That's a lot of meals. That's a lot.
That
That's
one-
a lot of food.
So 1.5. You said you started in 91.
One. Right. And
it's-
it was
I'm
mostly
sure
at
it's
the
grown.
window.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 2009, from what we can gather in the records. And by the way, I've only been there a year. So we're just carrying on what all these people did for 27 years. Anyway, most of the meals were at the window. What we're seeing in South Maui is more a need for homebound meals.
Interesting.
So I think that's speaking of there's other places people can get food, I hope. Or, yeah, that's what's happening. Is really our base is that 80 to 85 at home.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's
Right.
been a big change over the last 4 or 5 years. Almost a reversal. Where
Yeah.
we would go 80, 100 meals at the window and maybe 20, 40 meals delivered. And now we're at 85 delivering and sometimes as low as 40 at the window. So
Wow. Oh, really? Wow. Now, families sometimes come. For
Oh,
dinners.
yes.
Right?
Families.
Yeah, it's
We've
not.
had families. We've had, I don't know, we've had women who said that their husband kicked them out of the
Yeah,
house.
right.
But actually, we never ask.
Right,
They
right.
tell
They
us.
offer.
They offer. They offer the information. You know, again, we've had, I've seen a woman. They're anecdotes. So there's a woman that literally just had a baby, maybe the day before, so and came and had to eat at our
Yeah.
window.
To get a
And
good
then-
meal.
Yeah, to get a good meal. Yes.
Yeah.
And we should say that we do a balance, right? So when you come to Halikaukau, you're going to get a starch, a protein, veggies, fruit, piece
Right.
of bread.
Right.
And we give seconds on bread, salads.
hey,
and
don't
a
forget
salad.
the salad and dessert.
salad. and
Whoa,
dessert.
hello.
When the-
We
when
cover
the-
it all.
When the children come, that's the first
Yeah.
thing they want to know. Are we going to get
Get-
dessert?
That's true. That's true.
And like you said, Safeway provides desserts.
Yes.
Um,
But we just got Chef Stacy. She's a private chef, and that's the partnerships we're trying to do. We're not just trying to raise money, we're also trying to raise people to join our force. So Chef Stacy was just there yesterday, and Dr. Mary and I'll let Mary talk about the cookies she made.
She made wonderful chocolate chip brownies, but more importantly, she is experimenting with this new idea that she has to make like key lime and lilikoi pops. They're like pie, small pieces of pie, dipped in dark chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
And we're planning on selling them as a fundraiser on Fat Tuesday, along with some malasadas. So
the day before the diet starts.
yes,
Gotcha.
So look forward to that, and we'll be announcing that soon.
Maybe we should bring some. But what I want to say about this.
No, don't. I mean, I love the idea, but don't get us started. Whoa.
Two things I want to say about that. One is the partnership that we welcome talent. And if people want to use our kitchen to experiment and then we get to eat what they're experimenting, it's usually good. That's one. But two is just how the community can help us. They think we're just looking for a handout. No, we want to partner with you. So when Mary's talking about us chocolate-covered lilikoi pie. Oh, so good.
Hey, on that note, we've got to
She
take a
wants to
short
share.
break.
Oh, okay.
We'll come back and talk some more about food.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit agencies and find out what they're doing to help their clients kind of get through the days of their lives. That's a TV show, isn't it, or something? Whatever. But there are times. I know one of the things that we learned a few years ago was that sometimes you see a rise the last few days of the month in the numbers because people are out of their SNAP. Isn't that what it's called now? SNAP
Yes, that's what it's called.
coupons or whatever.
They've paid their rent. They've paid their car. By the way, not a lot of people think Halikaukau serves only the homeless. Yes, we have homeless people, but we actually have people who come in their cars. And I'm convinced that what has happened is they've paid off their car loan, they've paid off their rent, and now no more money for food.
Right.
And that's why they're coming to Halikaukau, so that they can get that dinner for the night.
Right. And I think the other thing that we've learned over the years is that in many cases, these people you've helped out through some tough times come back and either donate or volunteer to help the next round.
Yes, and I want to say, some of our homebound clients, we had just talked about their frail, sick, disabled, elderly. Some of them recover from hip surgery, and they end up coming to the window to eat, number one. So before we were serving them, and then they actually end up coming and volunteering in the kitchen. That is an awesome experience to see.
That's when you know you've gone full circle and it works. The system you've created works.
Yes.
Mary, we're going to switch gears here a little bit and talk to you because we got a fundraiser coming up that I know you this is your job to sell all the tickets.
That's right, and exactly that. We have February 9th at the Wailea Beach Resort is our big fundraiser. We're hoping to have 500 people in attendance. And it's a massive task, but we are on our way to almost getting there. But the big thing that I want to talk about today is to entice people to come to the fundraiser, is talk a little bit about the tremendous generosity of the Maui community. Almost every single hotel in Wailea has donated either a 1 or 2 day stay, and some of them have included a meal, a couple $100 for meals. We have the Trump International donated a 2 day stay in Waikiki, and we have restaurants in Waikiki that donated items. So it's not just Maui, but we have people who have donated wonderful, basically unique artwork, quilts. This year we have a Hawaiian quilt that's huge, and it's a one-of-a-kind design by Hawaiian. and it was made by a number of professional quilters, and it's just magnificent. We have a music box, and you think of a music box as this little thing on the table. This is a piece of furniture.
Oh my
And
goodness.
and it plays copper discs, and we have 6 copper discs. One of them is Cats, and one of them is Phantom, and the music from that music box is unbelievable. And we looked it up at Porter, and they still sell them, and they still sell the discs, and they run around between $9,000 and $12,000
Whoa.
for the box, and it's just the woodworking alone. If anyone's into wood, and it's just gorgeous. And we have Jerry Filippelli is a master craftsman, and he takes a piece of wood and turns it into these wonderful bowls, and I'm sure you've seen them in some of these Lahaina and in Wailea. And he donated one of his bowls. It's so thin, the wood, that you can actually see light through the wood.
Oh my goodness.
It's unbelievable. So these are some of the things that we have that are going to be auctioned off, and we've just received what they call a healing harp, that you put it on your chest and you play it, and it vibrates, and they've shown it lowers heart rates and things like that. And someone just donated that. So we have and of course almost every restaurant, I think, in Maui either have given us something or they told us it's coming in the mail. So we have a tremendous amount of restaurants that we're going to be auctioning. So it's going to be a nice evening. We have entertainment. The 2 players from Soul Kitchen are going to be performing, Michael Elam and his buddy Mike. I always call him Mike K. And they're going to be performing. Jerry Eiting's going to be our MC. So that we expect a wonderful evening of fun, good food. There's a new chef, by the way, at the Maui, at the Wailea Beach Marriott. So we expect a nice dinner, and for your money, $150 gets you in the door, and I think everyone will go home happy and pleased with the variety of things that we have to offer them.
Mike Guzalak.
Guzalak, that's it. I call him Mike K.
Cool. That's quite a roundup.
Yeah. It's been, and it's really tough because it's February 9th. Normally our fundraiser is March 8th, March 9th around. And so coming right off of Christmas and the holiday, everybody's focused on Christmas, and all of a sudden we're selling tickets. We sold tickets Christmas Eve, it's like, what?
Great Christmas present.
Yeah, so it's difficult. It's been difficult this year.
Well, people are paying for Christmas. You're asking them to start all over again.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's worth it. I mean, the dinner and the entertainment, the camaraderie. Why not? I mean, Wailea Beach Resort, you can't beat it.
That's right.
Yeah, and they'll find unique kinds of things in the artwork and vases and koa wood pieces and things like that people just walk in the door and say, "Oh, I know you're having a fundraiser. Can you use this? Can you use this?" And this lady came in the other day, and she travels all over the world, and she goes to third world countries, and she buys from the fair trade so she can give these people money. And she had all these hand woven pocketbooks, beautifully done.
Wow.
Embroidered and hand woven and hand sewn, just lovely pieces that she donated.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
That's fabulous. Well, I mean, it's such a good cause. There's just no question about that, and we know that every nickel is used to get the food you don't get donated, and to cover other costs, which you keep to a minimum because, as you said, you've only got one employee.
Although you believe it or not, the biggest cost we have is the cost to put what you put the food in, the
Yes.
paper, the containers
right.
that have to go to the homebound, and the containers that we serve. The plasticware and the that's probably more expensive than the food. It's
Right.
amazing, because you can't get anybody donating that.
Right.
You have to pay for it,
Right.
and you can't serve food unless you put it in something.
And
Well,
of course, we
and
want to deliver it
refrigeration.
in the safest and
Right.
cleanest way.
Right.
And with, anti-styrofoam now, which is fine, we're all supportive. Mary's right. Our cost of our paper goods is easily $3,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's almost more than the food, almost.
Well, and then you got a new walk-in fridge.
We
that
got
you've
it.
had to
Well,
do.
that's 3 years in the making again with Mary and Generous Community. Getting the walk-in fridge and freezer, 150,000 wasn't really the challenge by understanding. The challenge was the installation,
Really?
construction,
Ah.
getting permit. That was
Ah,
was a
wow.
challenge.
Let's not go there.
We're not going to go
okay.
there, but that was the
Enough
challenge.
said, enough said.
Everybody gets that.
Everybody's got the same story to tell on that.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
But in the end, we can assure all your listeners that we are feeding hungry people. That's the other thing I want to say. I too, having only been there a year, I used to think, I don't know about those people that go over there to Halikauka. I look at their faces and I see how they're eating, and they're hungry.
Yeah.
And so who doesn't want to help a hungry person, right?
Right. Especially a hungry person who will ask for help when they need it. You know.
That's such a beautiful point. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that's important that they understand where they are in life, and they need to eat, and they're going someplace where the food is good. It's a reputable place. There's nothing else going on there.
Nobody's going to ask them why.
Right.
Why
Right.
are you here? What are you doing?
Right. And you can come once, or you can come.
7 days a week.
There you go.
365 days a year. And by the way, we do have people like that.
Yeah. I bet you do. Yeah.
But we have an environment there. We have certain rules that
Yes.
they have to follow,
Yes.
and we won't tolerate fighting or But the most part, most of the people will be so gracious. They always thank the people in the kitchen and praise them and bless them, and that's the majority. But we do have a security just in case we have somebody that wants to cause problems,
safe
or
environment.
they're not supposed to come if they're under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and if we suspect that, we ask them to leave. So we try to maintain the protection of the people eating, that they're eating in a safe environment, and that's
Right.
important to us.
And to the people. That's great.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you, ladies, for being with us today.
you, Susie.
Claudine and Mary. It's always great to hear what's happening at Halikauka. By the way, phone number for Halikauka is
875-8754 or halikauka.org.
okay,
HALEKAUKAU.org.
And it's February 9th.
February 9th is the day for sharing the love
Yes.
benefit for Halikauka. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you. We'll see you later. Okay, we're going to shift gears now. We're going to go over to Kalima, Maui, and we're going to be talking with Darby Gill, who is the, what are you, marketing? Director of Marketing.
Marketing director, yep.
There you go. You've got some stuff coming up. Well, let's kind of touch base here on just rounding out last year. We're so close to the beginning of the year yet. It's still January by inches. But I know last year was kind of an exciting year over at where am I? Kalima, Maui. What day is this? I think one of the things that always intrigues me is when you do your annual meeting and you give the awards to folks. And I was looking at your newsletter, and your ambassador of the year. Now, is that's one of the clients?
That's usually a board member or
Oh, board
somebody
member.
who
Okay.
makes a big difference. In the past, it's been people like Hiroshi Arizumi and just all kinds of people. This year, it's an old buddy of mine, Jimmy Jones, of Pukalani Plant Company, who came to Kalima after he graduated from college a few years back, and worked in the plant nursery, the old plant nursery
Really?
we had at Kalima, Maui, and then went on to start Pukalani Plant Company, which is one of the largest growers
Yeah.
for the retail market.
Right. You see that tag on everything you're looking at, like over at Home Depot and so forth.
Pukalani Plant Company.
Yep.
But he started at Kalima Maui Plant Nursery, which is, we had a slogan, we grow plants and people. Because that's what the horticulture therapy program that we ran
Cool.
at that time was about. So Jimmy was the ambassador of the year. He's now a member of the board of directors
Oh, okay.
of Kalima Maui.
That's great. And then you have the contract of the year. Now, this relates to you do services for businesses. So you select a business every year that has a contract with you as your outstanding contract. I know a few years ago we were named that at Lokahi Pacific because we have your yard maintenance crews come to, 4 or 5 of our properties.
Mm-hmm.
And we're always, I can't say enough good about them. They're great. So this year it was Maui Soda and Ice Works.
Yeah, Mike Nobrigo and those guys. And again, a long time commitment. Maui Soda and Ice Works go back in the day. We used to have them come by and they had the Coca-Cola robot, an R2-D2 kind of robot. And they actually, were out there. And Mike told me that they still have that around.
Really?
But they're still helping. And of course, they help everybody. Maui Soda and Ice Work is Rosalani Ice Cream with his sister Kathy. They're
Right.
so community oriented.
Yeah, they are.
Great people.
That's great. And then the Employer of the Year. Now, you have a program which you train people to go to work in retail or so on. And this year, the Employer of the Year is Foodland Pukalani.
Yeah, just great, doing placements of our workers come and some have been there for years and years. The other day, one of our workers, Sally Kainini, celebrated her 60th birthday.
Oh, wow.
She came to Kalimo, Maui when she was 22 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's been there all that time. And at the same time, we work with kids at Baldwin or Maui High School, provided job skills and training, and place them out in the community. So we have a really wide range of people who work in our organization. And so we depend upon the community with our contracts to give us work so we can provide employment for the people who work for us, as well as to work with us in placing people so that we can put paychecks in the hands of these people who might not otherwise have an opportunity to do that. It wasn't that many years ago that people with disabilities were pretty homebound. And they didn't go out in our community so much. And that's changed quite a bit. And it's because of all the kindness of businesses on Maui who have worked with us and other organizations to make this all possible.
And Foodland is just one, as you say, of many organizations. I know we've talked on previous shows about folks who go to work for TJ Maxx. Give me some of the others.
Valley Owl Fitness Center.
Yeah.
Just a number of organizations where we place people over the years. And we're always looking for new partnerships. So that's something that if we have somebody, we don't put a cap on it. We try to make sure that we work with the whole community all over the island, not just in central Maui, but upcountry, the west side.
So if someone's interested, someone who has a business or manages a business and has an interest in hiring one of your people, they just give you a call and talk with you and find out the details. And I think there's also, you help pay some of the cost of that employment, right?
Yeah, we have an internship program that we provide training, and we'll actually place somebody with a job coach in a job situation so that they're not left on their own, and so that it's not extra work for the employer as well.
Right, and that's very important because a lot of times I know the people that when I had my own business that I associated with would talk about the cost of hiring new people and training them and so on and so forth. And I think that from what I've read over the years about the Kalimo Maui people is that in many cases, wherever they've interned, they've stayed. And you just mentioned somebody who's been at place for 38 years. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I had to look down and see when Kalimo was started to see that, okay, they could be 38. All right.
Yeah. We're one of the oldest nonprofits on the island. We actually started down by where the Hawaiian Canoe Club is, down in that area in 1955. And then we moved up to Wailuku, where the pool and the gym is.
Oh, really?
And when they started the Cameron Center, we were part of all of that, trading off some land with the county to get into the Cameron Center and develop that. And, we have a small parcel behind the Cameron Center that's, I think you're going to be hearing more and more about in the near future in terms of a permanent home for Kalima.
Wow, major plans.
Major plans. A
Yeah.
lot of good things happening. And, the best thing is starting with the workers that we employ.
Exactly. Gary's giving me the signal here. We got to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, talking story again this week, just like we have for the last, 9 years. Do you realize, Gary, that next week show is the very first show of the 10th season for this radio show? Man, that crowd appeared just like that. I don't know how he did that, but that was pretty cool. We're so excited about it, and of course we're even more excited that Pacific Source, who has been sponsoring us all this time, is going to continue with us. So that's in itself is just that's a, I don't think that's a minor miracle. I think that's a major miracle, because that's one of the things that's the hardest thing for most radio shows, to get the advertisers they need to continue doing their show. So we thank Paul Halverson and the group over at Pacific Source for their kind donation of the funds to keep this thing going. And we promise you we'll give you some information on those early shows as we go through the year, because it hasn't changed a whole lot. But, the needs in our community have not changed a whole lot. Some of the players have changed. Some of the sizes have changed. Some have expanded. Some have shrunk a little bit. And certainly a lot of executive directors have changed. I went back and I was going through some of the people that talked that first couple years, and I'm going, well, I haven't seen them in ages. Oh my gosh, no, they've left shortly after that. And some agencies, same person, which is, to me, is really exciting, because that means they're doing a good job. The board of directors of that organization's happy with what's happening. And the community is obviously happy with what's going on, because they continue to support them, just like Holly Kauko and Kalima o Maui. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that in. Sorry, Darby, I took part of your time.
Oh, that's fine. That's an important thing to consider, that quietly behind the scenes of all of these change that takes place through the nonprofit organizations on Maui are all these heroes,
Yes.
running these programs, or the crazy guys, depending upon your point of view, who are running around with their hair on fire trying to get all the different jobs.
Right. Putting out all the little fires that happen every day.
Every day.
And, it's interesting, because when we started the show, we were talking about, we're going to talk to executive directors. We've got some executive directors who just won't come on. They don't feel like they can tell the story, because they're not that kind of a player. And so they ask people like you to come on and represent them. And other times it's folks who bring in their clients to talk about what they've done for them and so forth. Or they're #1 fundraiser. And so it's such a combination of people that come on the show that I think that gives us the variety that we've been looking for all this time.
Yeah.
And the comments that we get back from the public are just unbelievable. I mean, I never cease to be amazed at who listens to this show. I'll be someplace and the funniest ones are when I'm talking to somebody and somebody will say, "Are you the lady on the radio?" Just my voice, right? And then I say, "My voice isn't distinguishable." They go, "Yes, it is." But it's that, and then it's like I had one just the other day. They emailed me and said, "I just caught a piece of the show on Wednesday, such and such a date, and I caught the name of the organization, or no, I caught what they do, but I didn't catch the name of the organization." And that's a reminder to me to talk about the organization more often. You know, especially when we come back from break, I should start it out by saying, we're talking with Darby Gill, who's Director of Marketing for Kalima Maui. Darby, take it away.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of information about Kalima Maui because we've been around many, many years. So people can find us on the web at www.kalimaomaui.org, or find us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. We try to keep a presence in social media so people know all about us. They can call us at 244-5502 and ask to sign up to get on our mailing list, so you get a copy of our newsletter and other information, things that we have happening at Kalima Maui all the time. We also have over 60 workers working a total of 65 plus contracts.
Wow.
And that includes a major contract with the county, as you mentioned, about we take care of the grounds of many of the parks on Maui, as well as, I think it's less known, many of the swimming pools. We do janitorial services
Oh, really?
for many of the swimming pools, like Sakamoto Pool and so forth. And we have a lot of private contracts like the Maui Police Station and private homeowners. So we have quite a bit. So there's training going on there. You'll often see Kalima Maui trucks going out, or vans in the community doing work and providing meaningful work for people with disabilities.
That's terrific. That's terrific. And I think just the idea, you know, it was like you said earlier, so often they didn't have the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And today maybe many of them still don't, because they haven't ventured out to find out, or no one has ventured out for them to find out about programs like yours. And I know that a couple of people have talked about the first paycheck that somebody gets. I mean, it's just something they never thought they'd ever have.
Yeah, there's a terrific video that we're putting on our website now, and it talks to a young man. He talks about his first paycheck and how important it was for him to get that and to be able to go out. And that eventually led to him getting a driver's license to be able to drive and get around. And that whole sense of independence and building self-esteem that happens, that many of us take for granted, but that people who don't have those opportunities, that's big news.
Right.
You know, that's really a big deal in your life when you have a job and you get paid and you're doing valuable work and you can go out and get independent living skills like get your own housing or get a driver's license. Makes a big difference in your life. And it's a gradual process, but there's no reason why that can't happen to the population that we're working with. A lot of times that the people we work with haven't had those opportunities growing up, so that to give them the chance and to let them know that they're capable of doing that, to give them the training and skills. Oftentimes what happens is that, you know, the stereotypes that they're not going to be hard workers or they're not going to need extra work to work for you, they prove them wrong. They prove just the opposite of. We have part of our newsletter includes people with perfect attendance, and you see how many people have perfect attendance come to work every single day because their job really makes a difference for them. And besides the ones who have perfect attendance, a lot of them, it's a process. You know, maybe medication may have to be adjusted, or other issues may have to be dealt with. And maybe they don't have perfect attendance, but they've gone from working 1 day a week to working 3 days a week, and eventually to 5 days a week. So it's a process. Somebody asked us one time, well, why can't you just have your workers join the union and do the work the union does? And it's because, well, the union's not going to pick them up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get them to the job site, drive them home at the end of the day. The union's not going to deal with if they're on medication for some issue, and making sure that they're stable and able to come to the job site. The union's not going to deal with the medical issues they may be undertaking. So those are all part of the supervisors for Kalima Maui just do a terrific job, because that's part of, it's more than just supervising a contract and making sure floors get swept or grass gets cut. It's taking care of the people who work for each agency. And it's actually, each of the supervisors have like their own ohana. And their own ohana is the people working with them and watching out for them, taking care of them, making sure that they get to the job site, making sure they're okay. I remember one guy in particular working for Kalima, and he had issues with his housing. And he, you know, his supervisor and a couple of people from the office went up and helped him clean and organize his house. You know, they don't do that with unions nowadays.
I don't know too many companies that do that.
No, and that's part of, that comes with the territory. That's what Kalima Maui's always been about, you know.
Well, and that's what the rest of your employees who manage these programs and work with these people and the trainings and so forth, they care. And that's the number one thing for anybody in the nonprofit world.
Yeah.
We're there because we care about our fellow citizens.
Yeah, and it's just like the kindness that's involved is really touching. And it's exhibited, it's transferred both ways. I mean, working with some of the clients at Kalima Maui is really like, it will change your day. That's all I took 3 guys to a movie a couple of weeks ago, and they sat in the very front row underneath.
Oh my goodness!
And it was like, that was their idea of seeing a movie. That was one of them showed up with 3D glasses, and he put on the 3D glasses, and I went to check on him about halfway through, and this gentleman said to me, well, it's good, except it's kind of blurry. And I said, well, let's try taking off the glasses and see how it works out. And it did, and the rest of the movie was pretty exciting. So it's a unique work environment that just has a lot of love to it, you know, coming in all directions.
And now you also have special events for the employees, fun days, game days.
Really, yeah. We have one scheduled around Valentine's Day, a dance and special occasion in our waiver building. We had a great Christmas party every year. Sorrento's on the beach, and Kihei hosts all of the workers from Kalima Maui and opens up their restaurant for an annual Christmas party. And Aaron, the owner, and his staff are just really kind people. But, you know, and I think we see this again and again in the nonprofit sphere. People, we don't see people when they're mean and angry and stuff. We see people at their kindest.
Right.
And that's a real fortunate thing for us. One of the things about working nonprofits is that you see the good in people all the time. You know, people constantly step forward and say, what can I do to help?
Right.
And do it with a smile and sharing that satisfaction that we're all making the community better.
That's true. That's true. And sometimes that happens on the day that you're having your worst day.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, you're about to go home and you go, oh man, this was so bad. Do I want to keep doing this? And then bam, the door opens and something happens, or the phone rings and something happens, and you're going, now that is why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, somebody wants to help.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't, it's wonderful, and I appreciate you guys and what you do so much. Now you've got an event coming up, a fundraiser also.
We do. This is our major fundraiser of the year. It's our 13th annual benefit golf tournament held at the dunes at Maui Lani. And what we do is we just have a great event. A lot of prizes for our golfers. We have a terrific sponsorship program, and we have some regular sponsors, but we're always in need of new sponsors. And we have a great recognition program. And there's many ways to get involved with the sponsorship program. And you can call our office, 244-5502, and get more information, or go to our website at www.kalimomaui.com or .org.
Yeah.
And you can sign up. On our website, you can sign up to play. It's scheduled for the 23rd of February. We have a check-in and breakfast at 6 o'clock with a shotgun start at 7 o'clock. And you can get involved with that. We have a lot of prizes that we give out. We try to make sure and provide a prize for each participant so that everybody can feel good. There's a chance for a hole-in-one, a prize for a car, $10,000, and we have other contests within the golf tournament, closest to the hole, and freebies like that. So a lot of things. February 23rd, the dunes at Maui Lani, Kalimo Maui's 13th annual benefit golf tournament.
Great. Everybody, that's a Saturday, so there's no excuse. You don't have to work.
No way.
Get out there to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine, and hopefully a little warmer weather than we've had this week, huh?
Yeah.
But at least we're not in Minnesota.
Yeah. And less wind.
Yes, right. Thank you, Darby, for being with us today.
Thank you,
That's
Susie.
Darby Gill, who's the marketing director for Kalima o Maui. The Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. Today we visited with the folks from Halikakau. We talked with Claudine San Nicolas, who's the program director, and Dr. Mary Troto, who is the fundraising chair extraordinaire. We talked about their big fundraising dinner coming up on February
9.
There we go. I knew they'd say that for me. And we also spoke with Darby Gill, who's the marketing director for Kalima o Maui, and we talked about their fundraising golf tournament, which is on February
23rd.
There we go. Okay. We are all set. Halikakau's phone number is 875-8754. There we go. And Kalima o Maui is 244-5502. Beautiful. See, I got them all straight today.
All right.
Wow, something's going on.
Good job.
Mahalo for tuning in, everybody, and don't forget to join us again here, same time, same place next week, when we'll feature 2 more agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors. Gary, where's your music? When I get the music, I know I got to double check what I'm going to close with here. So next week, again, 2 more member agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association right here on KAOI Radio, 11:10 a.m. and on the FM dial 96.7, 96.5 on the west side, and 98.7 basically all over the island now. Let's see. Until next week, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great week. Aloha.
Thank you.